was back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock tower showed midnight. I felt for the notes. So now he is feeling for the notes how it is. They were damp, wet from the rain. Anil's money, right? It was not his money, it was Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. He would have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. So now he had all the money that Anil had given him, but he cannot do these 3 things. He cannot cook, he cannot learn to write sentences, he cannot go to the bazaar to buy things. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. He had forgotten all these luxuries which he had been enjoying for this last 1 month in that excitement of taking away, stealing the money. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than a few 100 rupees. So learning whole sentences would bring him more than that few 100 rupees which he had in his pocket today. It was simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. Stealing is not a big deal. Okay, you can steal anytime, very easy, and that too with a person like Anil. And then getting caught is also perfectly fine, because once you steal, sometimes you may be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. So to be a big man, respected man, he understood while his stay with Anil, he understood that, these things are more important than having money. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. It's okay. If it is only going back to read and write, it's perfectly fine. Okay. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. It's very easy to steal, but to keep back the money from where he had taken was more difficult. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. So now the moonlight was not clear, it was clouded as it was raining. And Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute, still, silent, quiet. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. So I slipped the notes from where I had taken. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50 rupee note between his fingers. So now he had made tea, and he also had stretched out his hand with a 50 rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. He felt bad. I thought I had been discovered. So he felt he had been discovered. I made some money yesterday. So here I is Anil. He explained, now you will be paid regularly. So I made some money. Now you will get your payments regularly. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today, we will start writing sentences, he said. So, when he took the money was wet. So, he understood that Anil must have understood that these notes have travelled somewhere outside as it was raining, right? He must have noticed that it was raining last night. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. By Ruskin Bond. Okay, now this time the smile had come without any effort. He did not, the first two times when he smiled at Anil, the first time when he met Anil, the second time when Anil turned back to notice him that he is following him, both the times he had to make a lot of efforts to bring that smile to his face. But today the smile came automatically because a change has happened within his personality. He has changed from a thief, and this time this smile was an honest smile coming from an honest boy who had returned the money back because he was thinking about a bright future when he learns to read and write from Anil. A wonderful story by Ruskin Bond, and Ruskin Bond is always specialized to write these kind of stories. He is a wonderful writer, a British citizen by birth. He always lived in India. We have come across many of his stories in Supplementary Reader throughout our classes 6 to 10th. And this also is one of the wonderful story where he makes the readers realize that trust can, if you bestow trust on some person, even a dishonest person can be changed into an honest. There might be some exceptions. Every time you might not be successful in changing a dishonest man into an honest man by just bestowing trust. Sometimes some people are hardcore. They even can break your trust. But 99% of the cases, people normally don't dare to break the trust, because trust is something, a responsibility. It is an unseen, unknown, invisible responsibility that is bestowed upon the person, and we seem to fall into that pressure of that responsibility, and we keep up to maintain the trust. That is what normally happens when somebody trusts you. It's very difficult, it's very easy to fool a person who doesn't trust you. But if a friend trusts you, or if an elderly person, or if any stranger trusts you, you generally will not dare to fool that person. So that is what Ruskin Bond has tried to depict through this story, a thief's story.